We all talk about stress, right? That feeling of pressure, of being totally overloaded. It's just part of being human. But have you ever really stopped and wondered what that feeling is? Is it just some vague emotion floating around, or is it something real, something physical happening inside your brain? Let's get into it.
So we're going to tackle that exact question today, but through a really fascinating new lens. We're going to look at a model that suggests the feeling of stress isn't just one thing. Nope, it's actually two completely different types. One is super intuitive, but the other one might just change how you think about your own mind. And this new framework is called the Brain Kinematics Model, or the BKM for short. And its whole idea is that stress isn't a single experience. It's split into two categories, physical stress and the much, much weirder mental stress. So let's break that down, starting with the one that's a little easier to get our heads around. Okay, first up, physical stress. And you can think about this kind of like an engineer would. It's stress as a literal physical force. So the BKM defines physical stress as a direct force acting on the brain's actual hardware. Imagine stretching a rubber band or pushing your finger into a block of jello. It's a real, tangible, measurable pressure. It could come from a physical impact, an electrical current, or even a chemical reaction. It's direct.
And the key thing to remember about physical stress is that it's brutally simple. It's a concentrated force in one spot that literally deforms brain tissue. You can even see it happening on brain scans. But here's the most important part. There is no warning system. If that force is too strong, the tissue it just breaks. Instantly. Game over.
But here's the thing. Our brains almost never have to deal with those direct breaking forces. They do something way, way more sophisticated. And this brings us to that second type of stress, the one the BKM calls a cloud. This is where it gets really interesting. This is the big mind-bending idea. See, mental stress isn't a direct hit. It's what happens when the brain takes an incoming force, like the light hitting your eyes or a sound hitting your ears, and it does something incredible. It transforms it. It shatters that one single impact into this huge diffuse cloud of countless microscopic little stress points, all spread out across the brain. So how does this magic trick actually work? Well, first, some kind of physical input, light, sound, whatever, gets absorbed by our senses. Then, in step 2, the brain basically decomposes it, breaking it down into this giant, distributed cloud of tiny little strain points. And finally, and this is the amazing part, these clouds don't just sit there. They synchronize. They start to resonate, creating these waves of activity that just flow across the entire brain. Okay, so you might be thinking, why? Why go through all that trouble to create this complicated cloud? Why not just handle the force directly? Well, the answer to that question is one of our most fundamental human emotions. And this is the aha moment. Look at this comparison. Any other physical object, you put too much force on it, it just collapses, snaps, no warning. But the brain, with its special cloud system, it's different. As those stress clouds build up and push the brain tissue closer and closer to its breaking point, the brain generates a conscious alarm. And that alarm, that feeling, is fear. Fear isn't just an emotion. It's a brilliant, built-in early warning system designed to prevent catastrophic failure. Now, this raises a huge question, right? If this whole cloud process is so useful, if it literally saves us from breaking, why does it only happen in the brain? Why don't our bones or our coffee mugs have this built-in alarm system? Well, according to the BKM, it's because the brain is literally playing a different game of physics. Out here, in the world around us, everything runs on what you could call Newtonian physics. Think billiard balls smacking into each other. It's all about direct, concentrated forces. But inside our heads, a totally unique sub-Newtonian physics takes over. The physics of these distributed, resonating clouds. And this special internal process has a totally stunning side effect. The world of direct forces, it has no byproducts. But the world of these stress clouds, oh yeah, it produces feeling, awareness, and consciousness itself. Think about what that means. This idea completely reframes what our feelings even are. They're not some abstract, mystical thing. According to this model, they are a direct, physical result of the way our brain is built. There's this quote from the model's description that just says it all perfectly. Our entire inner world, everything we feel, everything we're aware of, it might just be an emergent property, a side product that pops into existence simply because our brain processes force as a distributed cloud instead of a direct hit. And listen, this isn't just some wild theory out of nowhere. It actually lines up with what we see in neuroscience. We know that high stress disrupts the synchrony of our brainwaves. We know it makes brain networks less efficient. And we know that chronic stress can literally, physically reshape parts of the brain. It all points to the same thing. Our mental states have a very real, very physical foundation.
So here's the big takeaway. When you feel stressed or anxious or even afraid, it's not just in your head in some vague sense. It is the physical state of these resonating stress clouds inside your brain. Your feelings have a physical reality. They have a shape. They have a dynamic. They are the real, tangible result of your brain's unique and incredible way of dealing with the world. And that leaves us with one last, profound thought to chew on. If our feelings, if our very awareness are just the physical side effects of these resonating clouds of force, then what exactly is consciousness itself? What else is this strange biological machine creating inside our heads?